Well, Finn the Hoon Man, I guess introduce yourself, who you are, background you were in, and how you stumbled across PC.
So Ed or Edward is actually my real name. Finn the Human is my Discord name. I named him after my dog. Um, but currently, so how I got into trading first, it had to be a couple years ago. I kind of saw it as a pass by on a YouTube video.
Mhm.
It's just the classic. You see somebody trading and they're like, "Oh, I made something silly like $9,000 in 10 minutes," and I'm like, "Oh, that looks cool." So I dipped into that world a little bit. Um, Granted, I didn't start with paper trading. I just went, hey,
Don't
here's
don't right
five
into
grand. Yeah. I just like here's 5 grand into my account. I'm gonna go hard. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what a limit order was, a market order. I was just clicking buttons. So I found out very quickly that using that stranger's YouTube video strategy just wasn't working.
it.
So what I did, because it still intrigued me, the whole trading thing, it still intrigued me. So I did a little research into it slowly over the next couple of years without actually trading anything. And I want to say only till about last year where I started researching heavily into it. Because I'm currently in the military and my contract's almost done, so I'm on my way out. So I was like, I need something to do. I want something, I want something else. And then trading, um, I thought could be a great avenue to take. So among doing some research about trading, I understood more. I understood what a limit order was and a stop order.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did buy a course in the beginning, which did help with some of the fundamentals, but it wasn't. I should say it wasn't for trade day trading specifically. It was for more indices,
Okay.
and that helped me a little bit. And so what I did was I was like, okay, cool. Here's another 5 grand into my account. I think I got what I think I've learned enough. This is what I'm telling myself. I obviously did not. Kind of blew through the 5 grand in another 2 months,
Oh man.
and I'm like, I'm in a hole because I kind of get stuff, but I need somebody to not only teach me how to do this, but to show me.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the guys you see on YouTube have like these clips that are like, hey, here's how I made 9 grand, and then they're like, join my course, and like you're gonna learn everything. So join their course, and it's like a couple of PowerPoint slides, and I'm like, I didn't really teach me anything.
It's a hard watch, and I
Yeah.
still even feel that for my material. I try to make it as less hard watch as possible, as interactive as possible. But if I'll either chop up my own video or watch some of them back, I'll be like who in their right mind will watch this? So
Yeah.
I, I get the feeling we have to invest more into some faster paced editors to maybe change the clips every few seconds to
Yeah.
make it easier to watch. But like the PowerPoints are hard, man. Oh man.
And they were hard to look at, and worst of all, some of them didn't even have voiceover behind it, so you're just reading it. So I'm like, wow, this is even worse. And then I was like, okay, like I can't do this anymore. And one thing I was trying to look at for all these guys' courses is like I want to see them trade like normally, not these like 15-second clips of like,
Yep.
hey, here's how I made X amount of money. And it's always like I'm not saying they're not real, but it's always some sketchy little box of their P&L, and it just keeps going up. So I'm like, okay, I don't believe you anymore. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So as I was being like, okay, maybe day trading's not the thing, and it's literally
And
one
what
day I'm
time was
scrolling
this? Were you
TikTok.
like, I don't know if I should be day trading. I blew some of my money.
Yeah, it was like just before, I want to say in July last year.
Okay. So
I
about
was like,
less than a year ago, about 10 months ago.
yeah, about 10 months ago. I was
Okay.
like, I was like, I can't do this. I was like, this is crazy. And I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see PC come up.
Yeah.
It was one of your trading videos, and I'm just like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay. maybe this thing, maybe PC is somewhere to go because the difference was you were live trading.
Hmm.
Like you were going on live and just like trading normally. I'm like, oh, it's not like a 5 second clip of you making like $1 million a second.
Right.
Um, so I started just by watching you on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's actually explaining what he's doing. He's going through his trade and he's trading and live for everybody to see. And at one point, I'm like, I don't think so. And I was looking up the stocks you were doing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, these are real.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my gosh, you thought I was like faking them.
well, yeah, but you'd be surprised that like some of the YouTube videos I've come across. It's like I'll watch them now and like go through my Quest trade and look what date they were trading. I was like, that's completely fake.
Yeah, it was Thinkorswim. I don't know about Questrade, but Thinkorswim has that on-demand feature where you can go
Oh,
back in time and retrade the stock if you wanted to practice or whatever.
oh
Uh,
wow.
and there's a trader that I'm not going to mention his channel, but you can tell that it's on demand because the time and sales will be dated as like the date like 5/10/23, but our time and
I
sales
see.
is by the minute, right? um
Mhm.
because it's all the same day that we're trading. So you can see he's like, look at the time and sales. He kind of shoots himself in the foot. He's like, look at the time and sales. Look at you can see like the date. I'm like, this
Oh my
guy, like this guy
goodness.
is. And a great way to judge paper trading on that platform is you come into contact with a lot of like double zeros on the end of the
Oh yeah, yeah, the sus double
yeah, the
zeros.
sus double zero. You got it. So I
Yeah.
was hit with a few of those back when I was doing it live, but it's funny. So joined some free TikTok live streams, and then you said around last time we talked was it November you joined the team.
Yeah, should have been around November. But I was watching you for it was almost a month before that. Just going through and because at this point I was tired of buying courses,
Mhm.
and kind of getting nowhere. So I really had to do my research on this one, and then I forgot who actually talked to me coming into PC.
Probably was Noah.
Um, oh yeah, I think it was Noah too. Yeah, I think it was Noah. Coming into PC. At first, I know you messaged me. I was like, I think I'm going to do this. So I paused for like a whole week,
Mhm.
and I within that week I did trade on my own, and I was like, and I lost a little bit of money. I was like, okay, yeah, let's if I'm going to keep wasting money like this, like let's just buy it, see what happens. If this isn't it, we're stopping this. I was like,
Yeah.
no more trading. So got into PC and immediately it felt super different. I'm not just saying that because it's your podcast, but I'm honestly saying it was super different. And the reason being is that for me, it's the Discord. The community Discord was such a game changer. You could see what everybody else is doing. People like writing what they're looking at, like why they're looking at this, and then watching you stream and do your thing and having all the archives there to watch, having some of your past trades to watch, and then the group lessons. Like it was
Yeah.
a lot of really great content. And I'm like, whoa, this is really interesting. So I took a little bit to just go through everything I could, go through your course as well, which is also it was really well put together because you were talking during your course and you were explaining things, and I didn't really have to read anything, so I was
Yeah.
happy about it.
Yeah.
Um, and I kept going through that and watching you trade. At first, I was like, okay, I just started small size. I put like I think I put $500 in my account. And I'm like, okay, if this is gonna work small scale, it'll work big scale. So I
Right.
just worked at that for quite a while, like until January of this year. Just doing it super slow, understanding everything, and I've never paper traded before, so this everything
That's not
is
a
just
bad thing.
live.
That's not a bad
Yeah.
thing. But I really have 500. Well, it's different for you because PDT rule doesn't affect you because you're in Canada, right?
No. Yeah.
So
Yeah. It
you can
doesn't.
trade as much as you want and practice and still have that emotion like this is real money. And the
Mhm.
unfortunate thing about what we do, paper trading, is it's kind of deceiving really because the fills are immaculate. Like you get some
Yes.
glorious fill. And I remember paper trading a few times and like I was trading with like two of my buddies. And I'm like, I'm gonna try this paper trading thing out. My money was in limbo, but I didn't want to tell them I was switching brokers because I taught them this broker. like I'll paper trade it. It was just it was Dagan like
Oh,
3
okay.
years ago, 3 years ago, maybe more. And I sold him like, oh, $800, and Dagan's like, I have no idea how you made money on that. Like I lost. I'm like, crap, these fills are not it, man. They're too
Yeah.
good. So January, keep it rolling. So
Yeah.
January, you added how much?
So January, I added about 10K to my account.
Okay.
That's because in January I found my so another thing I'll just bring up the individual sessions were really well. I did a couple of them and it helped me develop my own strategy, something I've never had before. Um, and developing it, I got super comfortable with it. And it's funny, I can go through like the PC chat and I was like talking about it. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm confident enough to start sizing up. And I started sizing up last month in April. And all of my small time wins turned into big time wins while still managing my risk, which was really good. I was averaging about like 1.5K a day, and I was doing really well. Yeah, there were some bad days. Like yesterday was a pretty bad day, but the difference is I knew why,
Yeah.
um, and I could recover from it. Yeah, it's going to take a little while to recover from it, but I understood why. I made that mistake, but
I
yeah,
remember
PC was a game changer.
sorry, yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I just said, yeah, PC was a game changer to like develop my trading and get me more confident in what I was doing.
That's awesome, man. That's good for me to hear. Um, is a two-parter. Sorry, I could hear my son in the other room.
It was all good.
Um, so I remember I had like a 7 day green streak or an 8 day green streak, and I was like, let's
Yeah.
go. Like, I'm getting hyped, like we're pushing 10, and they're like, dude, I'm on 11. I'm like, dude, this guy, like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Um, so how did you end the month of April P&L wise?
So P&L wise, I have it up here. So P&L wise for April was about just shy under 25, 24,380.
Wow, dude.
Um, and that was an insane month because that happened, the bulk of it happened within the last 2 weeks of April.
Yep.
Um, I was like, I had really good entries, really good exits, and I was flowing. I was doing really well.
So
Um,
you became the guy that was making 9K in a few seconds, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
this is real. This is real.
yeah.
So after making almost 25 grand in a month, this is a two-parter. Where
Mhm.
are you gonna go from here? And I guess how did that feel? Because it was kind of like a breakthrough, I assume.
Yeah. So I'll answer the second part first. How did it feel? It felt really good. The money wise, sure, but more that I understood what I was doing.
Yeah.
I know it's a simple kind of context, but knowing what you're doing in trading, even the people I talk to who are not in PC, who are day trading, like I'll talk to them and they don't really know what's happening. They're like a stock is going up and they'll just buy it because it's going up. Like, sure, you might get lucky 3 out of 10 times, but you're gonna get burnt the rest.
Yep.
So it felt really good to know what I was doing and to be super confident with the trade. And like I said, I go back and kind of watch the archive videos to keep myself on that track. And for the first part, where from here is I want to continue on doing what I'm doing. I'm still slowly developing some new things, some things I haven't seen before. Because I'm talking like I got maybe 3 months of experience, so it's like in the grand scheme of things. So really got to start studying and keep going because I think of it, yeah, I had a great month, but I could easily turn that around. So I need to just stay on top of my game and trading in because trading last year in a probably a pretty bad market, I learned some hard lessons there,
Yep.
and I'm still learning lessons now. So the idea of I know everybody wants to become like a full-time day trader, and it wasn't a possibility until last month.
That's
Until those last three, I was like, okay, this is real. Now,
right.
now, now I'm looking at it, and I've proved to myself that I can do this. So that
That's
was really nice.
that feeling must be like just a big sigh of relief because all the courses you invested in, all the time you sat down
Yeah.
at your computer, all the losses and like scratching your head, pacing your room, like, man, why am I doing this? Like,
Hmm.
and to have that breakthrough month with a little bit of momentum. It wasn't like a, I mean, it wasn't a spectacular month. It was like you said, the last 2 weeks were good. They were good,
Yeah.
but there was
Mhm.
times where a whole year it was like those 2 weeks. Um,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be cool to kind of loosen the reins a little bit, or not loosen the reins, but um, just see over a full year of experience now that you've done all the hard work and that's what's so cool about you is you did the one-on-one lessons, you did the archives, you showed up every
Mhm.
single day, and it's not like I give you my course, you watch it, you're pro trader. There's a lot of work. PC helps you, we teach you it, but thing
Yeah.
is, there's a lot of work you still have to do with PC to get the most out of it, to get the results you're getting.
100%. And that's a really big point that like people who are trying to get into day trading or just learning about trading don't understand. Because I talk to a lot of buddies who are like, oh, like I've seen it, but doing a course is like, how does this make you an expert? I'm like, it doesn't make you an expert. It's the constant talking to everybody, talking to your community, like your trading community, learning more things. I like
Getting
learning
your
from other
trades to
people's
trade
mistakes.
review, I mean that's huge
Yeah,
for
that was
me.
huge.
So keep doing that. That's winning trades and losing trades because I can help
Hmm.
dissect things that I've done wrong, and I like to show my trades, but sometimes you have to look at your own. And I now that I brought the Thursday trade review, I'm starting to bring the broker statements and the TradeZella to so we can rewatch the trade happen in action because sometimes I don't get them all in video. But
Yeah.
two, being able to know my numbers, like my average winner, my average loser, and just having that game changing technology now to be able to see exactly where I'm messing up is just led me to. I mean, if you would have told me I would have cleared how much I have in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I would have said you're crazy. At the start of April, I
Yeah.
was like, you're crazy. You would have said the same thing if I said Edward, you're gonna make 25K this month. You probably like, yeah, you're crazy. So,
Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, let me go back to my day job. I'm
yeah.
good.
So now that you're starting to build the account, at what point do you think you're like, you know what, I'm gonna start like taking dividends from my account. I'm gonna start paying myself if you haven't already.
That's a good question. I that crossed my mind a couple times, but I've never like sat down and been, okay, when is withdrawal date? Like,
Yeah,
what do I take out? Because right now I'm just focusing on building the account. My first big goal is hit 100,000 um in increments. So like it's gonna be 50,000, 75, 100 to try to get to that goal. But paying myself, yeah, I should think about that.
yeah.
That is a good option.
Well, for me, it's like I want to withdraw maybe a few $1,000s for
Hmm.
vacation, for something, or just to get my principal out to be like, this is real tangible money. Oftentimes, traders overlook like, oh man, I only lost 300 here or something like that, and it's like this is real money. Like it feels like a game
Yeah.
because we don't touch it, we don't see it in our bank account. Um,
Hmm.
but when I started taking withdrawals from my account and it was paying for my mortgage and then it was paying for
Yeah.
my honeymoon and my vacation, I'm like this is real money that I'm simply just printing out of thin air. And that's just like I think traders often are like, I want to get my account to 500,000 to start paying myself. It's like, well, dude, at one point, if you want to take it full time, you got to start at least giving yourself a wage.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, wow. I even hearing that, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like, why I should
Well,
be
even a
like
thousand
really
bucks
thinking about that.
a month, and it's like it's paying for some bills or dinner, and just realizing like you know, just that taking the next step of like this could be it. This could be full time. Because it seems like such a far off like yeah, maybe in 5 years I'll be pro and making a million a year or something. But I mean now it's
Mhm.
time. I mean 25,000 in a month. That's an incredible income for anybody.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
so you trade pre-market a decent amount, right?
Yes, I usually Question allows me to trade at 7 a.m. I'm
Okay.
usually there like 15 minutes before just to see what the market's doing so I can draw my lines and do my arts and crafts. So I'm ready to trade at 7. And then I usually take a pause in between that and then come back at about 9 o'clock. Depending on how the market is really, but I'll come back just before 9 to trade the open.
Okay. Um, what would you say is your favorite trading strategy right now?
My favorite trading strategy right now is trend line breaks.
Okay.
For me, just looking back on a lot of them, it's been really relevant when I see that I got a descending trend line and then it breaks it. So that break is like my marker to pay attention to it. And then if my new candle starts green, like I'm in it.
Okay.
Um, I use a 15-minute chart.
Okay.
I go by 15-minute candles. For me personally, it helps cut out some of the blur from like the 5-minute candles that are just going red, green, red, green. And it just helps me, and I really like it, and it's been good with that. But I still have my 15-minute candle, and under it, I'd have my 5-minute just to confirm what I'm doing.
Now, Quest Trade, I think we talked about it a few weeks ago, isn't the best for shorting availability, correct?
Terrible. It's terrible. Yeah.
Because I was gonna hit you with, oh, you thought the last course was good. I mean, I filmed that 4 or 5 years ago. Wait till Short Trader Boot Camp and the things I've learned.
Yeah.
Like, not so fast. So you'll be long biased for the time being until you either switch or maybe decide that maybe you don't even want to short. Um,
So
but
the good news is I have opened up my Trade Zero account.
okay.
I've had it up for a while. I just didn't really put much funds into it. So once Short Trader Boot Camp comes in, I'm gonna not divide my Quest Trade account in half, but like put a little bit more into Trade Zero so I can start shorting.
You can start shorting
Um,
with $2,000 is all you need to start shorting, and
okay, yeah.
so um, that's why I put 2,500 in for that small account challenge,
Oh
um,
yeah.
and back in January, and I'm restricted by PDT rules, so that hinders me a little bit. Cool, man. Well, I had a few questions, but you kind of just ripped right through it and answered them.
Mhm.
So how much longer do you have left for your contract?
I got about a year left.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got about 12 months to keep reining it in, and kind of going back to that. We talked about as a trader, you can't really let your guard down ever. I mean, you're up 25
Yeah.
grand. You said you had a red day yesterday. It was sizable. Um, Oftentimes when you get that first big win, you're like, oh man, I have all this wiggle room now, but it's not,
Yeah.
you don't want to give it back. So just keeping what you were doing, focusing on the small wins that lead to a big result. I mean, put it this way, I think there was one day you had like a 5 or 6K day. What was like did you have like a big day in April? Or was it, I mean, most of it was just like 1,500, 1,500, 1,500.
No,
Um,
I had a couple big ones. I had like a 5,700 and then followed again by like a 4,000 or something
okay.
crazy like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't like I had a 30K day and got lucky. It was
No, no, no.
mostly consistent. I mean, you were on before yesterday. I think you've done like 2 times in a row. You've been like on a 10-day just tear, green streak, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, you already answered your favorite. Okay. What would you like to see more of in PC? Because think about what helps you the most from being in PC and how can we expand on that and make it better?
It's a good question. Um, One of them already answered with the trader view. I was thinking about it a couple weeks ago, and then you said you were doing it. I was like, okay, cool. Like, kind of read my mind here. Trader view's huge, and what else? I think I don't know. Like, it's pretty solid. Like the group lessons are super solid. Like rewatch them. I really got nothing.
Oh
It
man,
is pretty solid.
that's not helpful. You need to
No,
critique,
no.
criticize. I was kidding. Well, I mean, it's good to hear that, like I said, I always like to improve the group and think about what we can do better. I don't know if you heard, like, we're gonna be kind of going on our own platform. Not trading platform, but off of Discord. Same, chat rooms, live
Okay,
streams,
yeah.
yes. But we're gonna try to integrate some sort of trade review or trade recap in the software, so you can track your
Oh,
trades in it, and then
thing.
I can pulse. You can have that in privacy mode or public, where I can go in and sift through. Okay, this is what he's doing right, and this is what he's doing wrong. That and short trader boot camp, which you already said you're going to take part of. But
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
what uh what do the army buddies say, or what do your friends say when you're like, man, I printed 25K for my laptop last
Y-
month?
You know what's crazy? Because it's funny. I trade in my office. So like, I 100% trade in my office because guys come by and like, hey, what are you doing? So at first, you explain to everybody, and they're like, yeah, dude, you're gambling. You're throwing money into the trash can. And then after a while of, making some serious cash on my end and them watching, they're just like, okay, how do you do it?
Yeah,
And then everything starts changing.
this guy's a super
But
whiz,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I'm just sitting in my, and now they like nobody bothers me until like 10:30. It's awesome.
That's good.
Uh, because I'm
The
just
two ways to
focused.
go from it, because my college buddies, if they could wake up by 9:30 market open time, which was oftentimes most likely not the case, but if they were up by then, say they had 8 a.m., like they were right behind me, which was sometimes like, okay, like just don't look at my
Yes.
P&L, just let
Yeah.
so but cool, man. Well, I mean, I guess, what would you say to someone who's either considering joining the group, or is either already joined and not really sure what to do?
I would say so if they've already joined the group and they're kind of in a lull or they're kind of standing still, take advantage of the one-on-one sessions and go through the archives because even for me, thinking back to it, there's a lot of questions I had that were already answered, um, either in the archives or in one of your videos. And then the other thing is just developing your own comfortable strategy, even for the guys that are not in PC, like develop your own strategy because the guys on YouTube been like, this is your green strategy, or everybody's throwing that out. It
Yep.
doesn't work.
Yep.
It could work like 1 out of 10, but you got to get comfortable
Yep.
with that.
Yeah, I find that to be the case with a lot of traders, because I have a decent amount of strategies in my arsenal or my tool belt, but oftentimes sometimes guys just aren't great at certain strategies and are better at some.
Mhm.
Being able, even on the short side of things, I had a student that just could not understand the long side, but he could easily identify when a stock was finally going to reverse. So just shorting was game changer to him. That's why it's so key to have that playbook to see what you're good at and what you're not. Seeing those numbers in front of you. Um, Interesting. So I guess last real question I have for you, well, I got two more. Is I was asked this yesterday. What is your
Mhm.
favorite indicator? And you can't say price action.
Oh, okay. My favorite indicator is probably going to be the 20 MA.
Okay.
Um, Looking at it, like, okay, so for example, today, it's a good guideline for me to be like, okay, am I gonna hold this for a little longer than I should,
Hmm.
or is it something I'm just gonna sell? For today, like I took a short trade today on open, um, and I had it right at its peak, and I'm like, okay, if it once it touches the 20 MA line, I'll take a little bit, I'll take a little bit off the table. But if it drops below, I'm gonna hold it for a little while, and it stayed true. Um, and I go back and I back test that line a bunch of times just to make sure I have it because it's going to do two things. It's either going to just break through it or bounce off of it. Um, so yeah, that's my favorite indicator. It used to be VWAP, but I don't know. VWAP has done me dirty a couple times, so I don't know if I trust it anymore.
Yeah. Are you using VWAP on the 15 minute?
15-minute, yes.
Yeah, that could be why.
Mhm.
Some traders, I mean, it's uncommon for a lot of traders to use VWAP on 15-minute. So when it breaks it on the 15-minute time frame, um, there could be some slight head scratching and like because there's not as many traders using that setup in that time frame
Yeah.
compared to that indicator, so it can there's not as much of a surge of buying pressure as there is um on the 1 minute or the 5 minute per se.
Yeah.
Um okay, what would you say kind of really led to your breakthrough in April? Was it just like I'm all in, like I'm sizing up now, or really like what was that big turning point um for you to just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna I don't know, just go on this wild green streak, or was it really just the momentum that hit the market?
No, it was everything leading up to it was me back testing my trend line break.
Mhm,
And I was just back testing it over and over again. And in April, I still have it in like the PC chat. I had one of my most confident trades I've ever done. Um, like I saw the trend line break and I bought in on the new green candle and it soared. So that's was like my breakthrough was I get my strategy. I understand what I have to do, where I have to enter. That was my breakthrough because now I'm like, okay, I can kind of move this to different stocks. The momentum is great. It just helps the P&L kind of grow a little bit bigger.
mhm.
But yeah, the biggest breakthrough is my strategy works and it really does.
We'll have
That
to
was it.
have you on a group lesson so you can teach it to the team, see if any other
Oh
people
yeah,
benefit from it. Or
I got
even
screenshots and everything.
we'll just have to fly you out to ProfitCon to speak this year, and then you could show it.
I'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
You guys aren't too far, so
Well, we're probably gonna do it in Florida this year. So it'd be
okay.
but Toronto to Florida shouldn't be a terribly long flight. Or would that be the best airport to fly out of?
Yeah, it'd be Toronto. But even like the drive is not too bad. I've done the drive a couple of times.
From
Just
there
on cruises.
all the way to Florida?
Yeah, all the way to Florida. Yeah.
That's a
A
long
lot of people do because a lot of people, especially in Toronto, they all have houses in Florida. And one of my close buddies does. So yeah, the drive's pretty not bad. So
well, if you start killing it and you continue to kill it like you are this year and the next few years, um,
mm,
would you ever consider moving somewhere that's better for traders as far as tax purposes? Or like,
that's a good
I
question.
love the six, I love Toronto.
Uh that would depend. Like if it's like a big difference, then I'll talk it over with the girlfriend and be like,
Yeah,
okay, this is what we might be doing. But if it's only a little bit, I like Toronto. I hate the housing market here.
yeah.
So that's another reason for me to leave. But
I'll have to ask you that around tax season.
yeah.
But well, cool, man. Last thing is what would you say to people that are on PC that have tried other courses before that were in your situation? They're like, I'm gonna quit. Um, what would you say to them?
Honestly, I would tell them go through the content, but go through the community. To be honest, like go through the community. They don't have to DM like yourself or Deegan. They can DM anybody in there, like Frankie. He responds to a lot of stuff, and just talking to others because everybody has been in their situation where they're constantly losing money. So just talking to them, see what's going on, and then trust me, you're not gonna feel so bad about like oh this monumental loss and the with the winners group chat and the losers group chat I think are a huge game changer. Um, for me, it's always post your winners and your losers.
Yep,
I gotta post everything.
yep.
Like yesterday, I was like, oh, man, I do not want to post this
No,
because I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But I was like, you know what? To keep myself in that headspace and like I can't pretend that I didn't lose.
yep,
So I just posted it out and I was like, hey, this is the reality.
yep. Well, it's great for
Yeah.
a lot of people who look up to you as I mean, you're honestly got to be one of the most profitable students we've had this year
Mhm.
come out of the academy. For
Nice.
guys who are starting to turn that corner and they're looking up like this guy's an 11-day green streak, he's killing it, 25K last month. Like, oh, he's human. Like he does lose too.
Yeah.
But for you also to be like, you know what, I lost, but this is why I lost. Because it's one
Yeah.
thing I don't know why I lost. The stock went down, but for you to be like,
Mhm.
I know exactly, what led to my failure. I think was huge for a lot of people to see. So I appreciate you for doing that.
Yeah.
Transparency.
This is a great group. Like, again, I'm not just saying that. It's awesome. So
Well, we got a lot of cool things on the roadmap this year, so hopefully we stay a great group. But appreciate you, man, for coming to the podcast. If you guys want to DM Edward, it's FinntheHooman, and our Discord is a gold member. So if you guys want to reach out to him, ask him any questions, I'm sure he'd love to hit you back.
absolutely. Jason, thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Dude, that was awesome. I appreciate it.
Cool. That was fun.